Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cinema Flow podcast. My name is Zach Abdelbaki, and today I'm joined by a very, very special guest, Ethan Gathman.
Hello,
Welcome to
Zach.
the
Thank
show.
you. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me on. It's honestly an honor. It's a pleasure.
yeah. So we met at the movie screeners club where both of our movies were showing. You showed Pookie and Peanut, which we'll get to in a few minutes. I just want to say I loved that movie so much, and
Thank you.
there is a link in the bio for people to check it out. So everyone, please go check out that movie and then come back here and listen to the rest of the episode. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was an honor to have my film screen with yours. Scorpion Cocktail. It was great. It was a fantastic evening. And I've just been getting into like all of these LA screenings lately, and it's just been so fun like getting to show the movie to the community. Because we met at Movie Screeners Club, and then we bumped into each other again at the Great Film Club, and I'm starting to notice that you see a lot of familiar faces at these events, so it's really fun.
exactly. It's good to have a community of all of the up and coming filmmakers. Like all of us, like pretty much in our 20s. So these screenings are really valuable. So, shout out to Sabrina who's been on this podcast and all the people who make these film clubs.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Um, when I made Pookie and Peanut, I had never went to any of these clubs before. I had barely even heard of any of them. So I guess I kind of like one of the reasons why I felt like I made it at all was just an excuse to just get to go to these and start playing my stuff and start meeting people and everything. And then recently I've been trying to go just to like actually go and watch films and um, man, like I just have to say, like every time you make a short film and you're like, this is like something really special here, you go and see like 20 other movies and you're like, these are all so special. Like you go to these screenings, there's never like those like diamonds that stick out. It's like every movie's always so fantastic. Like there's just so much talent um, in LA, of course, but just like in the world when it comes to filmmaking, like people have just really in general stepped up their game. Like you get just amazing short films coming out like every week, every month. I love it so much.
Yeah, I agree. And it is really, really validating to see your movie with an audience. I mean, when I'm editing my shorts, I'm always like, we'll see how this plays. But I gotta say, with yours, when it played in the Gardena, it was like a Marvel movie. People were cheering and laughing. It was so much fun. So, I bet that was very awesome, right?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that it's that exact moment that's in your head when you're first conceptualizing the idea. Um, so like you go way back to why am I even like making this in the first place? Because you're making a short narrative film, especially if it's like over 10 minutes long. There is a certain like amount of honesty you have to have with yourself. Like, is this gonna like go like get a million views online? Who knows? But all I can imagine right now is that single satisfying moment of getting the laughs in the right place, getting the gasps in the right places, the applause at the end, just a crowd, any crowd at all watching it. I think that's like the best sort of perspective you need to make a short film. And like that is exactly like what we all, I think, go for from the very, very beginning when we start these processes of making these kind of films. Yeah. So just it's a feeling that it'll never get old.
I agree, 100%. I definitely want to ask you more about Pookie and Peanut, but just for the audience, I want to know
Oh
like
yeah.
some of your origins. So you're from Chicago, right? Tell me like a
Right.
little bit about yourself and kind of how you got into filmmaking.
Yeah, so I'm Chicago. I would love to say Chicago born and raised, but I'm technically Evergreen Park, Illinois born, but I'm Chicago raised, just FYI for everyone. Um, And I started making short films because I have an uncle who moved out to LA when I was really young. He would come back to visit for Christmas, and we would make short films. And I just loved it so much. I would kind of push him to the brink of exhaustion. So like he'd visit for like a week or two in Christmas, and then I would want to like, pump out like 4 or 5 short films. And, we did that for a while until eventually, he kind of had his own kids and told me to, like he doesn't have time for this anymore. So then around like early high school, I started it on my own. Like my first like full-fledged short movie is this very poor attempt at horror called Schadenfreude that I made in freshman year of high school. It was like my friends and we were out in this forest preserve in Chicago. We were filming, I played like the villain, and he had captured all these people and kind of like battle royale style, like made them all fight each other and kill each other in this forest. And then I would sort of like intervene as the villain and like, kill the odd person here and there. Um, and this was definitely my big introduction to the challenges and difficulty of filmmaking. Um, it was such a hard movie to make. It was miserable. It was hot. People were covered in we used barbecue sauce as fake blood. So it smelled like barbecue sauce. Someone like tripped and fell in like dog poop once. We didn't bring any food because we didn't think we had to. I thought it was gonna like automatically look like Lord of the Rings because I was shooting it on a DSLR as opposed to an iPhone camera. I just thought that automatically made things look amazing. Like the whole movie's out of focus. But despite all that, I really, really fell in love with the craft, and what started from there was like I probably made around like 20 short films in high school. And I would say there are some nuggets here and there of greatness, but they're overall like oof, really hard to watch. I still have them all. I think as all filmmakers have their old movies somewhere on a hard drive or their Google Drive. I still watch them occasionally, and I'm like, oh man, that's rough. But then I went to film school, college at the Ringling College of Art and Design, and
In
that's
Florida, right?
Florida. That's right. Yeah, in Florida. And then that began my Florida phase in life. I went to the school, and then I sort of continued my tradition of making, short films, pennies on the dollar, with friends, overambitious, very heavy with like the production design side. That's kind of where my brain always naturally goes is I wish I could just write a story about two people talking in a cafe. I really wish I could. I even like those kind of movies. And every time I'm at the drawing board, every time I'm like writing a script, it just always like ends up going haywire. Next thing you know, I've just written too many action scenes and horror and blood and effects and special effects and all that. But anyways, I digress. I went to college, then I moved out to LA, and
Well,
then I
wait,
would
let's stop. In college,
okay. We're getting ahead
you
here.
did a few short films. You did the
Yes,
My Dad's Worst Nightmare or My Father's. Tell me,
my dad's greatest nightmare.
Greatest Nightmare. Tell me like a little bit about that one, and because that one's on
Yeah, of course.
Vimeo.
That was
So
my senior thesis.
mhm.
So, the idea is there's these three daughters, and they have this workaholic father, and they've created kind of like Dexter's Lab style, like stretch of logic. They've created this monster in their garage, which they've kind of outfitted as this like sci-fi lab. And they stage this monster attack where they think that if the monster breaks in their house and like tries to kill them, the dad's gonna stop caring about work and like, kind of snap to reality. But he doesn't. So they then realize, oh, the best way to get at dad is to make the monster an employee at the dad's company. and then have that monster outperform him in every way, like getting like better sales, you know, pleasing the shareholders, getting employee of the month and stuff. And then through, various shenanigans and misadventures, we kind of come to this lovely John Hughes ending where the dad's like, my family's what matters and not my job. And, this monster like has made me realize that I'm too stuck in this, competition of work and blah blah blah. So in the end, him and his daughters all go on a fishing trip together with the monster, of course, because then you get the funny shenanigans of that. So yeah, very like silly comedy. That was definitely what I was going for. That like I said earlier, like John Hughes, 80s, like family comedies, stuff like that. Love those kind of movies.
Yeah, and you also did Uh-Oh Aliens. Was that like your
And then
indie? Or
yeah, that was my movie I did the
yeah.
year before. Your dad's greatest nightmare. Uh-Oh, Aliens was a puppet alien
Hmm.
runs away from his evil homeworld and comes to Earth to move in with his human pen pal. Now they're roommates. And he falls in love with, the guy that is his roommate. But the alien's mom is like the evil alien queen, and she like comes to Earth to hunt him down and like destroy everything that makes him happy. So, ironically, I have a great relationship with my parents, I have to say, but both of these movies very much have to do with like parental relationships. That I think that was a coincidence, but you never know.
Yeah. I feel like when you get to college, that's kind of when the movies start to like almost be as you envision them. I definitely relate to what you're saying about like the high school stuff. That's
Hmm.
when you're just learning how to do it, I guess.
Yeah, oh my gosh. You just
Yeah.
automatically think that it's just gonna turn out like really, really good. No, that's never the case. You gotta work really hard to get there.
Yeah, there's actually a film festival called Bad High School Movie Festival or something like that, where they're literally like I was thinking like, should I submit one of these, like one of my bad high school movies? But I was like, I don't know if I want to come and watch it with an audience, like I guess, but you know.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I submitted. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It, it's the Bad Student Film Fest, and I made the most horrendously edgy, dark, cringy movie in my freshman year of college, actually. And this is not like oh my gosh, let's laugh at how bad it is. It's one of those like, ooh, that's bad kind of movies. So if I do get in, it's gonna be a real out of body experience, like sitting there and watching that. But I own it. I own it. I own all of it. All the
Yeah.
movies that I've made, all the bad ones.
You got to be
It's what
proud
makes
because even if you get a movie done, even if you finish it, that's a miracle.
yeah.
So always got to be proud of those. But so tell me, like, what are like some of your influences? Because I think you operate on a spectrum of genres.
Hmm.
From Pookie and Peanut, I thought you were definitely like a comedy guy, who likes action also, but there's many different genres that you like.
Yeah, I would say my top like movie list is probably like one of the more random lists you'll ever hear. But for me, like number one is Lord of the Rings. Like not just like, The Fellowship or Two Towers or Return of the King. Like boom, the whole trilogy. I never watched one of those movies without watching the entire trilogy all at once in one sitting. So I kind of just consider them one movie. Um, when I was like a little kid, I my uncle was like babysitting me and he showed me those movies. It's like really I was like way too young. And but I just fell in love with them from what I heard, and I've just been watching them like pretty consistently ever since. I think those are like the pinnacle of all filmmaking. But if I talk about that, this podcast is going to get really, really long. So I'll move on. Uh, I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I love I honest to God, like I literally one of my favorite movies ever is the Cat in the Hat movie with Mike Myers.
Yes, I love that movie too. That movie's hilarious.
It's so good. It's so, so good.
From
I think we all gotta wake up.
Oscar winning cinematographer Emmanuel Lubezki, who did The Revenant and Birdman and Gravity. He also shot The Cat in the Hat.
Wow, I actually didn't know that. That's incredible. I don't doubt it because it's actually shot really well. Like,
Yeah, like
I will defend that
obviously
movie.
we both know that this movie has like terrible reviews. And look, it's not like, it's not Shakespeare, but it's funny. Like there are some good jokes. The production design is really, really good, and Mike Myers is just hilarious.
He kills it. Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately it's all about like I love like a good movie that has something to say and it contributes to like society, but ultimately I do think its main purpose is to entertain. And on that scale, um a lot of my favorite movies would be considered more entertaining movies than good. Um, because I also love like I love like the kind of movies that you'd find on Tubi. I love, stuff like Tammy and the Tyrannosaurus Rex or like Monkey Bone, Teenagers from Outer Space, Can of Worms. Like these are like real like weird B movie deep cut, especially like sci-fi genre films. No one is ever gonna like stand up and say this is a good movie, damn it. But I think like the people who already know that these are very entertaining and fun movies, and I love the sort of I love what they tap into, and they just make it so fun and easy to watch a movie, and I think those are the best kind, in my opinion. So that's sort of the charcuterie board of the films that I love, I guess.
I agree. I think that's very, very good. It's always nice when someone can love Lord of the Rings all the way to Cat in the Hat and everything in between. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but with that said, I want to get into Pookie and Peanut. Once again, for everyone listening, go check out the movie on Vimeo, link in the bio, and then come back because we're gonna discuss it open spoilers. So please just tell the audience what the movie is about.
Yeah, so the movie is about Pookie and Peanut. They're two, they represent like all of the fantastic qualities of a great couple. They are in love, and they represent all that is good in the world. And one day, Pookie is kidnapped by the evil Joey, and Joey despises them for their love. And Peanut comes home to find Pookie missing, and he ventures out into the desert to fight Joey and his army of goons to save Pookie. Um, and it ends with a big bloody battle. They beat the shit out of each other. He rips Joey's guts out, and then him and Pookie are, reunited. And I think with this, I really unironically just wanted to say like, love wins, and we have to fight and champion like the good things in the world, and that is what this movie is. That's where I am in life right now as well, and how I view it. Too many bad shit going on. Like focus on the love right now.
Absolutely, that's a very, very good message. And the gang kind of reminded me of Mad Max in a way, like the Mad Max villains you always see, like in the old ones, like the Road Warrior.
Oh yeah, that was the biggest inspiration. We even had like a lookbook, and it was filled with Road Warrior stills. Yeah, so Joey and his goons are they're dirtied up. They're wearing lots of leather, tattoos, war paint. Yeah, these are the kind of guys who see two beautiful men in love and say, no love, love is not allowed. We gotta stop this. And that's why they meet their ultimate fate in this movie. They get the absolute shit beaten out of them. They have it coming.
And one of those goons, goon number one, is played by you. What was it like acting in the movie for a little bit?
Um, it was actually really, really great. I haven't been in like so when I was in high school, way back to those movies I made, I was in almost all of them. And then I pretty much took like a nearly 8 year hiatus from being in anything that I had ever made. So we had an actor drop out last second, and we were just, oh my God, what are we gonna do with this last goon? And I was like, I guess I'll be that guy. It was great. I loved it. It was super fun. I got to get beaten up. I rolled down a hill, which looks great on camera, but I don't think it does it justice. That hill was steep, and I have to say, being from Chicago where the grass is soft, this California grass is so sharp, and being covered in sticky fake blood meant that I was like picking blades of grass off of myself for like days following that set. But it was really great. I loved just being like a goon, not many lines. So I would definitely love to do that again sometime for sure.
Yeah, I've been covered in fake blood before and it's not fun. It really like
Thanks.
stayed for a few days. Like it's not fun. I've had it all over my face and it's literally my face is like red for 3 days. Um,
Yeah, I totally believe you. I mean, I've known people with like they'll put makeup on, like fake blood on, and it's there for days, weeks sometimes. It's crazy how how much that gets into everything.
But yeah, back to the movie though. Like I gotta tell you, when we watched it with the audience, it was so like so much fun. It's like you just really want to root for them, you know? And your actor who played Peanut is so good. Like literally, like the way he does his fists, like when he's getting ready to fight, and you put like
Oh,
the
he's cocking
on
the
his face.
fists. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was what was it? What was it like working with him?
Well, he is my childhood best friend. And he was in all the movies that I made in high school as well. So this was like this movie really was the culmination, or not even the culmination, but this was a major, major milestone in what has been nearly a lifetime of collaboration. Um, but we're so working with him is about as amazing of a director actor experience as you can ever ask for because you're just already like locked in mentally, and all it takes is like just I all I got to do is just shoot him a look, and he's like, I know exactly what you want me to do in this shot. And then we go and we play and we do it. So it's the sort of like artistic collaboration that you can only get after working with someone for over 10 years. But I was just so proud of him for doing this. He was an absolute tank on that set because it was 2 days and it was nonstop. Like we filmed 12 hours. We stayed in this Airbnb and we were like just up like pretty quick the next day. Right back to it, just nonstop action, and he crushed it. I just loved working with him on this big project.
Yeah, tell me more about like how you got the production together because I know you were filming in the desert. You mentioned the Airbnb.
Yeah,
I mean, I've done a similar location. It's not easy to like get the generator and get everything out there. Like, what was it like managing this whole production?
it was massive. When I first thought of the idea for this, I
Mhm.
was thinking, let's go really, really scaled back. We'll just hop in the car, we'll drive out the Joshua Tree, we'll film it, super easy. We'll get back in the car, and we'll just come home. And then enter my producer Joey, and Joey is a guy who I've known out here in LA for a long time. Just to skip ahead a little bit, he actually flew out with me to Florida to work on my feature JIT. So he's like a super like he's all about the filmmaking lifestyle. Like it's like a he's really like a shoot first, ask questions later. Like he's there. You tell set tomorrow, he doesn't even want to know what the story is. He's already there. Like you don't need to pitch him on anything. And he was like he heard my idea and he was like, let's make this big. I want to help you. I want to produce this. And he hooked us up with this beautiful, beautiful Airbnb out in Pioneer Town near Joshua Tree. Like it was like a mansion on the side of a mountain with 40 square acres. Um, he put together this crew of, consisting of our friends and some of his own personal friends, and the crew was like about 20 people. He flew out one of his childhood friends from he actually ironically grew up in Chicago in the same very same part of Chicago as I did. But he also flew out a childhood friend of his from Chicago to act in this. Like he brought this all together. He kept everyone fed and happy and well stocked on everything they would need to make this film. He was like the guy. And he really brought this all together, logistically, everything wise.
Yeah, and how did you get the financing? Was that through Joey also, or
Joey's the man.
was the man?
Like Joey is the man. Yeah.
Wow.
Like yeah, he when the moment we were actually we were seeing Transformers 1, which by the way, great movie. Go support that movie because it was really good and it won't get a sequel. But that was we were outside the AMC 16 in Burbank when he pulled me aside from this group that we'd seen it with, and he was like, "I'm going to make this movie with you." And he was like, "I literally am putting, everything I got into making this." It was insane. It was a one of those very, very rare moments in filmmaking and out here in LA where someone just is like, I'm gonna do it. I'm footing it. The whole thing. It's crazy.
Well, I know it was not a cheap movie, and I can see all the dollars on screen. Like it really looked like a real movie. It's very professionally
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah. And part of that was the VFX or practical effects, which I really loved. I told you during the Q&A at Movie Screeners Club that I loved the Halima. Like I told you, it was kind of reminded
Yeah.
me of that from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when he reaches in
Yeah.
and pulls out the guts and then chokes him with it, the villain with it. And that was such a great. And I rewatched the movie today, and it really is a good effect. I gotta say, like very professional. How did you pull that off?
Well, the trick with guts. Well, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so happy how it turned out. And the trick with guts, disemboweling, anything like that, the trick is to use real pig guts. Um, I know there's like some strategies, like some people say if you like curl up like paper towels and soak them in like red like liquid, you can make them look like guts. But if you go down to the butcher and you say, I need like a bag of pig guts, they will give it to you for like a few bucks, maybe even free because they were about to like throw it out anyways. And we put those guts in a plastic bag, and then we bought the a fake like silicone torso, and Joey put the torso on. We stuffed the guts in between the fake silicone torso and his own torso, and we sliced a hole in the silicone. And when we cut into that shot, you'll notice that um Peanut's hand's already in there, and he just rips out the guts. Um and I would say the only thing that actually cost a lot of money was the fake torso. But other than that, it was real guts. I don't even think we didn't even cover those guts in fake blood, really. Like they were fresh pig guts, blood included.
So I guess it was probably like, yeah, guys had to be careful not to get it like in anyone's eyes or mouth because like fake blood, if you get it, that's fine. But the pig blood, yeah, it really got to be. I mean, because they put it around his neck and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We were holding our breaths
It
on
was very
that. We
red.
very red. Yeah, it was very rehearsed. We had to rehearse it a lot. That's when you really get like granular with your blocking and your action, and you're just like, this is specifically how we're gonna go about this with the choking shot, so that we do it safe and stuff. But
Yeah, but they do
did
similar.
save us a lot of money with the fake guts, with the real guts, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, even in like features and stuff, like they will use animal guts. People think like, oh, it's all fake. I mean, it is fake, but it's a lot of times they do use real. Like I've heard sheep's. They also use sheep hearts and whatever, like for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes the real thing is like the best way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's a tremendous movie. I mean, you've shown it in a lot of festivals and clubs, as you said. Like, I bet that's, one thing I notice in my movies, like when I show it in the same movie in like different screenings, usually
hmm
at a certain point, I like the beats of laughter are pretty predictable. Like, do you find that
Yeah.
similar? Like, I mean, I think the movie plays super funny, like when people watch it. How did the reception differ at all from what you expected, or is it exactly like what you expected?
So it plays slightly different than I expected because I find my friend Charlie who plays um Peanut just funny, so like I just laugh at everything he does. So the movie starts off playing it pretty straight,
Yeah.
and you almost don't really know it's a comedy until like at least like about 3 minutes when people I think start feeling comfortable to laugh. But I'm laughing watching this movie like about a minute in because I'm just like when he walks in the house and he's like, "Oh, I got the chicken with the lima beans, nestled with sincerity on jasmine rice." Like every time I laugh, I hear that, but like nobody else laughs at that because it's like people are like, "What is this movie?" I think they're still processing it, and then usually when he gets the phone call about 2.5 minutes in and the villain's like, I got Pookie, I think that's when the audience realizes that they are allowed to laugh at this and that yeah, this is not like a serious movie. And then definitely by the time we get into him like jumping up on the rock, like, where's my Pookie? And then one of the villains like, yippee-ki-yay, and then like one of the villain's clothes falls off entirely, and he like reloads his fists. Then the laughter is exactly where it's supposed to be at. Yeah,
Yeah. I also want to ask you about the stunts. Like, how did you do all the action scenes?
yeah. So we had a professional stunt choreographer helping us with this movie, and then here's a little bit of tea. This person was very seriously training us, and we were trying to explain that like this is not a realistic John Wick action movie. So they kind of like quit. They were like, well, if you guys aren't if this is like a silly movie and you guys are like play fighting, then I don't want my name on this. And they quit. So Joey was like the producer. He was like, okay, I'm gonna do all of the stunt choreography now. And he came onto set with these pieces of with like a clipboard essentially where he wrote like very extensively what each fight sequence was going to be. So he would say like so he'd break up a fight in segments, and then segment one is Charlie left hook, Charlie right hook, Joey gut punch, Joey, recoil. Then you get granular, you break it down, you break it down, you break it down. And I think the energy on set was just so alive. People just were able to get into it pretty easily. Um, but yeah, that was his first time doing any. It was our first time doing anything like that at all. And we were also told by the stunt person that this was too silly. So it all came together very weirdly, but it turned out great, I think.
No, I think it turned out really good. And I think even with the sound effects and everything, like it just felt very like here's the thing. I call it like smart dumb comedy, where it's like
Mm.
the Naked Gun movie that just came out. Like it's very dumb jokes, but like made by very smart people. And it feels like intentional. Like it felt like you guys really thought about how to maximize the comedic potential of all of these moments in the fighting and everything. It was just really, really well done. I want to ask, like, what has been like your favorite screening so far? I mean, I know it's tough to pick, but if you had to pick one.
Oh yeah, because I've done a few. Um, I would say I got some really great reactions at the Great Film Club. I but that screen at the Gardena Cinema, just seeing it on such a huge screen was so. I was scared when I walked in. That screen was so big. I was like, I don't know, is this gonna look good? But it looked fantastic, and I was really happy. And then last night, I was at this newer monthly film screening or like semi-monthly called movie night, and it was way more like laid back than the rest. It was like in someone's backyard, so people were already kind of in that like laid back funny kind of mood, and it just really hit like with the audience like perfectly.
Yeah.
So it's been across the board very satisfying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And definitely I think yeah, no, I think it's literally like has a little bit of everything of like what you want in the movie. It's got the relationship, you want to root for them, the romance, it's got the action, the comedy, the effects, like it's just like all around a great film. I do want to move into your feature, Jit.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So this is a movie you've completed and it's going to
hmm
be going on the festival circuit soon. It's called JIT. You can all watch the trailer. I'll put a link to the trailer in the bio. Um, please tell the audience what this is about.
Yeah, so I'll give like the full I'll give like more than just the log line. It's about these two brothers who get out of a very short stint in jail in Florida, and they are sort of rebuilding their lives in this like almost like romanticized version of Florida that we really tried to capture. And as this is happening, there's this dark, brooding mystery developing, and then we start to discover through the story that there is supernatural evilness happening with the senior citizens, the snowbirds that live down in Florida, and the main character's brother gets kidnapped, and he has to go into this sort of rat's nest to find him, and navigating like a lot of Florida staples, classic Florida man characters, and he's got, yeah, evil old people going out after him and stuff like that, and he has to go find his brother. Um, so it's really like a love letter to the state of Florida. I lived there for 4 years, and I really tried to just capture my experience living there and the aesthetics that I love in this film.
Very nice. That's really cool. And what was the experience like going from short films to the feature? What challenges did you encounter?
Miserable.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was very great and satisfying, don't get me wrong, but like people think like, oh, if I make a 10-minute short film, then making a feature is like making 10 10-minute short films. No, it's not. It's a completely new caliber of filmmaking entirely. Um, I'm lucky, so I got a shout out because I co-wrote this movie and I co-directed it with my friend Jorge Rodriguez, who I went to school with, and we he is, I would say, my like second half of my brain was put in his head. Like I found what made this movie easy, like you know how they say like direct 80% of directing is like casting. Like I also think that's like the same for who you choose to make a movie with. And I was lucky to have him. We were really good, and that's how we made this, is because we had each other's backs the whole way through when we worked together. But it's so big and the scope is so large, and you have to, scheduling like an over 20-day shoot with a large cast and multiple locations and a really, really big crew, because that's what you need for a feature. It's just really hard to do it with this, do it small. It's such a massive undertaking. Like probably will go down as one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, period. Like no matter what I go through here forward. But yeah, it's a huge beast to tackle.
Yeah, and the budget was kind of similar to Pookie and Peanut, but how did you make it work for a 90-minute movie. It's like how long?
Yeah,
90?
micro budget film.
Budget, yeah.
So again, this was executive producer for the win. This movie got made through, this was a power of friendship kind of movie. We have a friend that we went to school with. His name's Ben Sutherland, and he graduated the year after us, and he started a production company in Atlanta called Cap 17. So he had a red camera, full lighting package, full sound package, and he had a whole Rolodex of people that were all new grads and a lot of young people trying to work in the industry. And he was like, I've just graduated. I'm looking for some big thing to put my name on as executive producer. Same with all these people that I'm working with. Like, we will come out for you. We will help you make this movie. You know, obviously there's plenty of stipulations and stuff, but that is how we were able to make this feature on the budget of a short was they came out, they made the movie. Like we paid them, but you know, this was like a very, very low rate kind of movie. I'll just straight up say it. Like I'm not gonna shy away. Like this was a lot of like micro budget filmmaking. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got a lot out of that budget based on, I mean, I haven't seen the full movie, but based on the trailer, it looks like there's a lot of production value.
It's because the crew was the best. The
Yeah.
crew was the best. These are the best. Like anyone listening to this based in Atlanta, like you need the best crew. Like look up Capsule 17 and look up Jump the Gate Productions. These are the people that are gonna like make your thing. They're gonna push it over the edge and they're gonna take it to like 100 to 110%. Yeah, they were the best. I also think that Florida is so cinematic, especially when you're really, really particular about your locations. It kind of just filmed itself after a while. And it was such a hot summer that all the actors got that like kind of like glazed, sweaty look. So it just kind of added a lot to like the overall whatever the mise en scène on its own. But yeah, I would say those two things really is what made the movie good.
Yeah. I mean, that brings to mind like Florida Project. What were like some of the like were there any inspirational movies for JIT
Oh
specific?
yeah, definitely. I mean, Sean Baker, big time. Florida Project, big time. Probably even more so was Red Rocket.
Mm,
Um, if you've seen Red Rocket and you watch Jet, you'll be like, oh my God, like, yeah, this is definitely inspired by Red Rocket. For me personally, I really tapped into my love for a movie called Repo Man,
mm,
which is very similar in structure to JIT, where a lot of Repo Man is it's what I like to call like a hangout movie. Like a lot of the movie is just sort of characters kind of hanging out, saying funny things, getting in like little side quests, and while there's like this overall like conspiracy brewing. Like you really don't get any payoff on that until like the very end. That's definitely like what Jit's like. So those are the big inspirations for sure. But the biggest inspiration was came from real life, which was the star of the movie, Alex. That movie, like so, a lot of times roles are written for certain actors, but this movie we wrote for him. Our main actor, Alex Correa, who plays Alex Cruz in the movie, he's such a bigger than life character. We just wanted to make something that would do him justice. Like that was like the very first second that Jorge and I sat down to talk about making this movie. Like that was immediately like the first thing we said was Alex is the main character. No matter what, we got to do him justice. So that's where it all started.
that's amazing, and I'm very excited to see his performance. So the movie's completed now, right? Like, so it's submitting to festivals now?
Yeah, yeah, we've completed the movie. We've submitted to some festivals. We've actually gotten into some festivals.
Good.
But at the time of this recording, I can't say what they are quite yet. But we are. slowly like getting into screenings and festivals, and I will definitely like keep like, the internet or whatever updated on it however I can. I'm hoping to get as many eyes on it as possible. I just want to share this thing right now, like going way back to when we started. That moment where you get the audience watching the film and you feel that satisfaction, like right now, that's what I'm chasing. Um, the big picture stuff, like the distribution and getting it out to the world is like I definitely will work very hard on figuring that out. But right now, I just want those moments where I get to sit in the room and watch it with people. That's what I'm chasing.
I that sounds great. I mean, I think, like, when you have the movie on streaming and you send it to people and they send you a nice message, that's really cool and I always appreciate that.
Yeah,
But it doesn't compare to the feeling you get in the audience. And then even afterwards, when
yeah,
you talk to people, I feel like after COVID, I think all filmmakers just really appreciate that more and more.
absolutely. Yeah, theater. We need to get theater going back up again. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Are you like do you because some filmmakers when they make a feature, they only want to do more features. Do you ever see yourself making another short or do you are you looking to do like the next feature after this?
Right now, I want to make micro shorts. I gotta like scale back. I've worked like between like a feature and then something as big as Pookie and Peanut. I would love to just make something more like 3 minutes, easy, maybe like a good punchline, get a good laugh. That's all I'd want. And then, maybe start working on a pitch deck for another feature someday. We'll see if I got some sort of I can gain at least some amount of clout or whatever. But yeah, right now it's like scaling back for sure. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, yeah. What was it like co-directing? Because I've never done that.
It is your experience is only as good as your
Yeah,
co-director.
and you had a
And
partner who you said it's like you guys
yeah,
gel together.
it was like we gelled together. Yeah. So it was great. I would say, I mean, we've worked intimately with one another on this film for 3 years now, and we've gone through so much shit together. So much. And it's like people think that just because you're friends with someone that you're gonna also just naturally collaborate well with them, and that's not always the case, especially when the going gets rough and stuff like money and like, how do we like properly split up like the creative say in this project and egos and all that gets involved. And that was never once, never even for a millisecond, an issue with Jorge. Um, so it was great. But gosh, if I had to go through that with someone who like I just didn't gel with, I don't even know if the movie would have been made in the end. So my advice to anyone who's ever thinking about co-directing is like if it doesn't feel right during pre-pro, like it might be time to have an honest conversation because it might not work, period. Because that really is what's going to determine whether this movie is going to happen or not, is how well you work with your co-director.
Yeah, you mentioned that you want to do more micro shorts. Is there any genre or type of short that you haven't done that you still want to make on the bucket list?
I've never done like traditional horror. That would be great, but that's so risky sometimes, I feel like. I think right now I go to these screenings, and I think the highlights of any screening is getting a laugh out of the audience. So I right now I feel like going after those laughs, making something that's really just like a gag, like just one gag. Um, those shorts do really well, and I love them, and I've never done anything like that before. So just like pure simple comedy is what I'm at right now.
That's also kind of where I am at. I just feel like it's always, yeah, that's why I love Pookie and Peanut. But I appreciate that you can do like many different genres, but yeah, I'm definitely in a comedy mood at the moment. But yeah, so you've lived in LA how many years now?
I've lived in LA for 3 years now. Yeah.
So you moved right after college, um,
Yeah.
working here. Yeah.
Like moved, classic LA, like moved out here, no job, barely any savings. Um, like I made like everything I owned in like a box, in a suitcase. Yeah, yeah, like I've done the typical, like the classic LA, like struggle, grind, shine kind of stuff for sure.
Yeah. Do you like it so far?
I love it. At first I moved out and I was like, what am I doing? And then you just realize that this is such a beautiful city, and Southern California is really one of the most beautiful places in the world. And then every time I meet someone who's just moved to LA or is thinking of moving to LA, I always tell them this: go to the networking events, go to the screenings, go to the get-togethers. There's like a filmmaker hike that happens sometimes. Like, go to as many of these as possible because that's when you really start falling in love with the city and you start feeling like there's a community here that I fit into. It's like moving to a lot of big cities, the responsibility is kind of on you in many ways to make it work. So I know a lot of people will move out here and they just kind of like, they just give up on it and stuff. But like the people who move out here and they love it are also the same people who go to like a short film screening every single week. Like there's definitely not a coincidence with that.
I agree 100%. I think you get out of it what you put into it, and you can't be shy. I know what you're talking about, that hike that they do like every month. I went to one.
Yeah, the filmmaker hike. Yeah, well, maybe I'll see you there at the
Yeah,
next one.
exactly.
It
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
really nice. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like, if you go into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a job out of this because I went to one event, it's like, no, that's
No,
unrealistic. But if you have
no.
realistic expectations and you build a community, eventually, like, you'll, improve your situation.
Yeah, I knew people in school who are like, I'm above PA work because I have a film degree. It's like, oh, bro, you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into. You gotta come out here and you gotta understand that you gotta kind of earn your spot for sure.
You got to build momentum. That's
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen overnight. You just have to, slowly build it and then keep it going and
yeah,
all the relations going. You also do like post-production work, right? Like
I
editing,
do.
stuff like that. Is that what you do for like a day job also, or what is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that pays for this apartment that I'm sitting in right now. That's what post-production coordinating.
Okay,
That
that's
is the job. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
People,
very
go ahead.
no. All I'd have to say is it's like an office job.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. It's a steady, solid, rewarding job. You get to work with editors. I manage the team in a lot of ways. A lot of my job is just supporting the editors, making sure they, have what they need and working on, long documents and paperwork for the studios and stuff. It's rewarding in the sense that when the show comes out and you know how much work it took to make it, you get that nice big satisfying pat on the back. But it definitely like it definitely compels me more and more to make sure that I'm using my weekends and my free time to actually direct and make movies because you're not gonna scratch that itch from a job like that.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. And I guess people can reach out if they ever need a post-production coordinator.
That's true. Hey, you need a post coordinator. I will coordinate that post production like no other. Hear me now.
Yeah.
I do very much love it and enjoy it a lot. I love the coordinating requires a lot of communication. And I think it's a real left and right brain kind of thing. Like I'm more of like I just like talking with people more. So like that's I think I gel in pretty well with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one more question, because I'm always
Yeah.
curious, because you're a writer director like me. Which do you like more, writing or directing?
Um, I love how endless how many endless possibilities there are with writing. It just feels so like I could just throw anything at the wall, Because I love like big, stories, but you can't always pull those off in real life when you're actually directing, but you can on paper, and there is something really satisfying about that. Um, so I would say writing probably has the slight edge for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think they're both fun, but I like working with people. So I feel like directing is more fun, but like right,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work to get to that stage though. You got to produce the thing, got to, a lot of planning. But
Yeah, I think if we can all agree if we compare writing, directing, and producing, the producing's the least favorite
yeah.
part.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I always say it's easier to spend money than it is to get the money. Producing, you're getting the money, directing, you're just,
Yeah.
you're spending, you're making decisions.
I
Um,
love spending money. It's a problem how much I love spending it. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Well, I think everyone can find your Instagram in the bio. They keep up to date with the release of JIT and other screenings of Pookie and Peanut. And everyone go watch it. It's really, really fun. And they can visit your website and see all your work.
Please, everyone is welcome to come and yeah, view what I've got to show. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. This was great. So I've just really really enjoyed sitting down and talking with you. You're every time I see your stuff, I really respect it and I enjoy everything that you're doing. So it's just this has been a really great experience.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Cinema Flow podcast. Please subscribe and rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we'll be back next week with more fun movie chats. But until then, stay safe and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye. See everyone. Thank you for tuning in.